Hey everybody, I'm Flash. Over the years I've had my fair share of Zelda, starting with the Spirit Tracks from the Wind Waker trilogy. While the series is acclaimed for its stories, puzzles, and dungeons, items in the series have definitely had their highs and lows, and these ones are the lowest of the lows. From self-inflicting damage to just outright unusable, these are my top 5 most useless items in The Legend of Zelda. Also note that this is just my opinion, and if I didn't mention something you thought of, well, just drop a comment down below. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Number 5, the Deku Stick from Ocarina of Time. The Deku Stick is a weapon that deals a fair bit of damage but breaks after just one use. On top of that, they can only be wielded as young Link. After that, they are literally unusable. The only reason why this is this low on the list is that these things are sort of useful in the very early game, but after that, they just have almost no use at all. In the early game, they can be used to light torches and stuff, but even then they get consumed after just a few seconds. If you have a blade that's better than the Kokiri sword, I wouldn't even bother touching one of these. Number 4, the Bug Net from A Link to the Past. What exactly does the Bug Net do? Catches bugs and puts them into jars. That is literally it. It can't do damage at all, and the bee that you catch doesn't do nearly enough damage to kill most enemies. I do have to give it credit, however, because you can use it to catch fairies, which as many of you know heal you completely, so having one on hand for later is pretty nice. I would give more credit to the jar than the Bug Net, but I guess it helps. Overall, the Bug Net is a nice addition, but it really honestly just doesn't have much of a practical use in normal combat, or even puzzles for that matter. The Bug Net is nice, but not exactly necessary. Number 3, Romani Mask from Majora's Mask. While many of the Happy Mask Salesman's masks have magical properties, this isn't exactly one of his masks. This is given to you by Cremia. What does it do? It just allows you to show that you're an adult. That's it. This mask is physically just an entry card to one point in the game. By wearing it, you can visit the milk bar, but other than that, it literally has no use at all. And to add to that, you don't even have to wear the mask once you're in the inside of the bar. I guess the little cow face does make you look pretty kawaii and you can get some dank milk. But other than that, I hate to say it, the Romani Mask is almost entirely useless. If given the choice of this mask or Adult Link, I'm pretty sure 99% of you would take the latter. Number 2, the Phantom Hourglass from The Phantom Hourglass. Now I know what you might be thinking, but try to hear me out. The Phantom Hourglass is not a bad item, in fact I'd say it's pretty helpful, but the reason why it's helpful is so stupid it hurts. In the Phantom Hourglass, after every boss battle you must backtrack to the Temple of the Ocean King. But wait, why do we have to backtrack? You can't progress in the game without filling up your hourglass with golden sand. This is pretty good since it actually gives an incentive to hunt down all the bosses, but the actual function of the golden sand? You need it to stay alive in the temple, and the sand runs out quickly as Not to mention that every time you're hit by a phantom, you lose 30 seconds of your already shallow time. A better usage of the hourglass would be to freeze phantoms for a certain amount of time, not literally be your lifeline. In the Temple of the Ocean King could have been saved for the end of the game as the atmosphere would have been built a lot better, having to run through a temple that slowly drains your life while the doom of Bellum looms over you. But having to go back after every boss only to have your time and health drained is the worst decision I could think of. So is the hourglass a bad item? No. But the game forces you to worship it or face the consequences, and I'm pretty sure this mentality could apply to other items in the series, but this is just the one I best remember being shoved down my throat. Number 1, the shield from Four Swords Game Boy Advance. The shield is one of the most useful items in most Zelda games, or just Zelda in general, but in this game there's barely even a reason to have one on hand, since whenever you pick up a key item you drop the one that you currently have. Let me tell you, the shield ironically is the worst key item in the game, in comparison to the bombs, Rock's Cape, and Chain Chomp. The shield just kinda sucks. Its one use is just pushing around enemies while decreasing your movement speed drastically. It doesn't make enemies stun themselves when they hit it, it's just a slight nudge in the opposite direction. The shield is about as useful as a large squeaky toy, as it just bounces and it's squishy. But this is where I have an issue. Your sword does the exact same thing as your shield, except it can actually kill stuff. In fact, your sword knocks back enemies farther than your shield, if I remember correctly, and your sword doesn't drop when you want to use another item. The shield in this game is literally a disposable item. It is meant to be replaced by more usable items, but why? Why have such an essential item be at so little importance to you where you physically replace it with a boomerang? Overall, the shield is bad because it literally does a worse job of protecting you than your sword can. Not to mention that you don't even need it for the majority of the game, so why even have it in the first place? Well, that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like down below, and for even more content, don't forget to smash that squishy red subscribe button for more. Also, did you disagree with this list? Comment something that you would have added or removed if you made this list, and I'll be sure to look at them. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.